All right, part 2. This is not a light language video, although there's some light language that might come through. I want to talk a little bit about a blog I posted. I did post a blog. It's quite long. It's on carryyvonne.com. I don't remember if I called it Wombat or I might have forgotten to label it. Either way, it's January 3rd I wrote it. January 2nd and January 3rd. I don't know which one I posted. Today is the 6th. I'm just taking this all in. The energies are wiggity wiggity whack. Highs and lows. I had this, today I woke up and I felt there's so much happened today for me personally. So much is happening to people that we know. So much is happening in the world stage. We thought it couldn't get any crazier and it just did. And what I'm being shown is that this all had to come forward because it needed an audience to see it play out. Getting emotional. So that we could see it, hear it. So we could hear, is this ringing true to me? Is this really our reality? It's not. It's not real. And I'm saying this from one perspective. From another perspective, it's very real. If that makes sense. I just went for it. Welcome to this video. We're going multi-dimensional here. So my dear friend Kat and I were playing, we spoke on the phone and she was helping me decode this blog that I wrote. I had to check out. That was really talked about time bandits and time crusaders, and it was a very multi-dimensional video. Blog. And we'd started out the call and we're both feeling a little funky. A lot of weird things had happened and, everything that's going on. It was just natural as a human being having a human experience to process certain emotions and feelings. It's normal, you guys. So I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about the synchronicities, but my point is what I'd written in my blog. So if you're interested in reading codes, I invite you to go back and watch that or read it. It's long and it's very coded, but it's very relevant for what's going on right now. It helped make sense for me for a lot of the things I've written about over the years. And essentially, I'll get to that in just a minute. My point is, by the time we were done talking, we were both happy and felt kind of high. And what I mentioned to her is we're creating. We were in the creative flow. When we were plugged into what's going on out there, which granted, if that's part of your reality, if you're in politics or you're working at a hospital, it's a different kind of story, right? It's kind of impossible not to be in that reality. So we're dipping our toes into different places based on what our linear job is or our relationship with our family or so on and so forth. But beyond that, there has to be our ability. We have to utilize our own space to create space and to play. And it's so important right now. And what I was shown, and so by the time we were done, we're going to start doing some videos and she's going to help me as my sister and friend. And I'm going to start collaborating with a lot more of my sisters, and we're going to restart reaching out to those of you that I've told I was going to reach out to. Now's the time. Anyways, what I'm sharing is we're creating. Our creative juices were flowing. We were having fun, and we got off and we felt so much more expansive. Where's my buddy? We're so much more expansive, and it was like, oh, this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is called out-creating what was old and already created. What we're seeing crumbling and falling apart had to happen from what my guides are sharing with me, or AKA my higher self, or AKA the future versions of me that have already seen this play out a number of times. What I was told from my aspects is this has happened time and time again. But this time it's different because there's so much we've infiltrated and cracked through the old system. And that's why it looks so crazy, because it's literally falling apart. It just can't hold it together. It can't keep itself together anymore. And that needed to happen. We had to see the craziness so that we could go, what is real and what isn't? And so it's really important to come together and find our soul connections, because we need each other to help us recharge. Because this is challenging time for many people. For those of us that are sensitive and aren't quite sure how to not tap into the collective energy, it's almost impossible not to, because we're part of the collective. But there's a lot of people that are just honing in on their skills, and they're like, what is happening? Why am I having crown tingles? Why am I seeing things go bump in the night? Why am I having dreams that are coming true? And those of us that have been doing the work for a while are like, yeah, it's weird. It's normal. Okay? We need each other to remind each other that that's real. And all this other stuff isn't. It's an old system. I was shown an old reality, and there was a light reality that was actually created to infiltrate the other reality. And what we've done is we've had this merging. And that's kind of what we're seeing, is that tsunami of energy. And it is coming together. The yin and yang is happening, but there's going to be this push until finally there's a meld. I was told the old energies aren't just all bad. We are using what we can. We are helping who we can. We are a network of star seeds and light workers. We are doing what we can to assist Earth. But really, all we have to do is hold our space. I was shown, it's not like there's this, I must do this, and this is, some people are still on that course. But there's a whole group of us that are on a different trajectory. And that trajectory is just being and holding space. Not sitting in a corner and meditating all the time. That's an old paradigm. There's nothing wrong if that's what you've chosen to do. That's your choice. Freedom of choice. Not wrong or right, just different. But there's a whole section of us who are coming out of the woodwork. And we're just like, hey, it's going to be all right. How can I assist? This is what I do. If you're interested, let's play. By us playing together, we are out creating these old patterns and these old realities. They just aren't, they're sketching out is what I'm hearing. They're tripping out. They're not tripping us up anymore. They just aren't working. And we are the ones, we are the beekeepers. We are the bees. We are the queen bee. We are the nectar. We are the hive makers. We are that network of beautiful, vibrating, humming, earthbound, galactic, multidimensional, part of the fractal, but not fractionalized, together, holding compassion, in companionship, in unification, in a commingling of beautiful vibrations and energies, each bringing our own attributes, in a tribute, Atreyu, in a never-ending story of love and co-creativity. Think about the path and the journey of Never-Ending Story and all the characters that came together to create the story. They were all an intricate part. It wasn't just Atreyu, right? He was the hero, but we've moved out of that paradigm. You need all the characters of the story to create the story. Otherwise, it's just a person. Just like Source. And we are the extensions of Source because it's so much more intricate, interesting, expansive, and expression of divine love for us to see each other. Namaste. The light within me sees the light within you. oh, you've got some blue and some green and some rainbow in there. I'm really into the purple, right? We're seeing these different energies and we're all playing and co-creating and connecting together. And I'm hearing, while the world falls down, The Labyrinth. I'm going 80s today, right? Never Ending Story, The Labyrinth. I highly recommend those movies if you haven't seen them. Soft disclosure. And we are literally, it's like that scene where the crystal shatters. It's the end of the movie. You have no power over me. Sorry, spoiler alert. You don't. They don't. That's not how it works anymore. It's not really ever how it worked, but it did in a different, Moving on. We're here now. Be here now. Be, buzz. I had an amazing experience with a bee the other day. I don't know if I told you guys this. I was in my driveway. I didn't think it was going to make it. I looked down. I thought, oh, I almost stepped on it. If I hadn't looked down, interesting synchronicity, I wouldn't have seen it. I picked it up and I had a few minutes, and so I put it in my hand and I just held it and I loved it. And that bee had so much to share with me. It wasn't just about me helping the bee and just forcing it to come back to life. I just held it and I appreciated it for everything that it does, and I appreciated the little soft fuzziness it was, and I just sent it so much love and gratitude. And I didn't push. I wanted it to live, but I didn't push that on it. I thought, well, if it's your time, if you've chosen, or if something's going on, I'm just going to be with you for a moment. I'm going to share in this energy. And I realized that it had pesticide. There was some kind of pesticide. It had landed on some pesticide. So I just, my husband calls it, I John coffeeed it, if you've ever seen Green Mile. I just sat with it and all of a sudden started coughing. And I just felt all of this come out. And then I get up and the bee just flies away. It was amazing. It was a beautiful experience. Okay, I'm pausing. Okay, I had this amazing moment with the tree. Again, connected with this tree, and they want us, nature, animals, earth wants us to connect because we are part of it. It's not that we're separate, and many of us already know this, but how many of us take the time to do that every day? I don't. There are days that I go through for a few days. I mean, I notice, I connect with the clouds and the sky and water and all that, but you know what I'm saying. And I was like, wow, it was a great reminder how we help each other out. We don't have to. Some of it's about acceptance. Some of it's about trust. It's not about keeping us in like this. Even as light workers and starseeds, a lot of us are drawn towards one another to collaborate right now because we are coming together. It used to be, this is my way and this is my modality and this is what I know. This is my secret. Because if I share it, I'm a little tangled up here, I'll be judged or somebody will take it from me. It isn't about that anymore. It's not. So who are we creating with? How are we creating? Are we creating? Sometimes it's time to just take a break from all of that and get back to nature. Notice the cycle that we're in. Many of us are in a transition right now, meaning we're just not sure where to go. I've been having a lot of people reach out to me. I'm not sure what direction to take. And that's part of what I do is I help people, well, have you tried this? Or I see this, or oftentimes, I'm just here to validate what somebody already knows. Sometimes people don't tell me anything, and I just say, have you ever thought of this? And they're like, that's what I do. And sometimes it's just about having a conversation, just like my friend and I, inspiring each other and going, yeah, let's do this. Let's collaborate. Let's try that. So that's happening a lot. This is all, I'm doing this, talking about this because there's more. I'll do a different video on this. Again, if you want to go logical and analytical, I just invite you to read my blog. I'm going to be posting another one tomorrow, 2 days in a row. Can you believe it? They're long and lengthy and coded. I'm going to break down or build up or decode a lot of this, again, with my friend and sister. And I'm going to be doing some more videos with other sisters and brothers as well. But that'll kind of share with you how I put together what I put together and why I'm writing about it and what does that mean. Because from what I'm seeing is we've we're out creating. And again, I give credit to Andrew Bartzis, for bringing that word to my attention, because I didn't understand what it meant. But we're creating at such a fast level by doing this kind of interaction, or just by coming out of the woodwork and saying, here I am. That is a creative force and a creative energy. Sometimes it's just by acknowledging that we've got a gift or we're interested in something. That's movement. That is not stagnation. And then what happens is that pushes us into the next level, brings us into a higher state of awareness, yet a deeper resonance and a deeper knowing. And I'm going to end on this note. One of the biggest messages is, if we're doing those things and we're doing what we need to do to be self-aware, we are then aware of the self and not all of the selfies, if that makes sense. Play on words. So we're more aware of not what people are posting and it looks like the perfect life and they have no wrinkles, although I think this has kind of got a what's it called, a fuzzy frame. I prefer the fuzzy frame, but I still don't delete them all. Sometimes I do sometimes I do these videos and I go, I can't believe I posted that, and that's okay. That's part of what this is about, is being raw, allowing ourselves to come through the true us, the real us. And I'm in a different mood all the time. I roll with it, right? And we're all being invited to do that. It doesn't always have to be perfect smile. I don't always have the filter on, is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes it's a filter day. Other days it's like, just go with it. And that's what we're being invited to do. Be authentic, be real, and play. Doesn't mean we have to be raw and authentic all the time, because sometimes that's fake too. I have to post this. I have to express this. Do we really? Or is that something that we're feeling like we're being pushed to do, because if we don't, we might judge ourselves? But essentially, what we're being invited to do is really just let go, trust, and accept, and see where we're at and feel. Because the deeper we know ourself, the more we know ourself, which is the bubble within the bubble, which is within the bubble, the sound behind the sound, is what my guides always say. And less of that ego looking in that mirror that I was talking about in my previous light language video. It's a self-reflection of the mirror behind the mirror behind the mirror. I think that's like a Star Wars. Which one was it? Anyways, it's all of these mirrors, all looking back at us. And we are all of those things. Yet, we are not. In love and light.